Okay.
Okay. Last time I checked, it was 5:31, might be 5:32.
5:32.
We're going to start our meeting. Welcome, call to order. Mr. Secretary, would you be so kind as to call roll?
Ray Regalato.
Here.
Ed Christensen here. Chris Valle.
Here.
Melanie Elrec.
Here.
We have 4. Everybody's here. We have a quorum.
Okay. Then we have no one here publicly, so we have no students. We'll go on to item number 2, general public comment on non-agenda items. We have no public, so if anyone
One quick.
Around the table, Mr. Christensen.
Senate Bills 411 and 537 are scheduled to meet with the Assembly Local Government Committee July 12th. The meeting starts at 9:30, but as usual, there are lots of other things involved, on the agenda. So exactly when they get to those two is unknown. Any letters of support or against either one are due by 5 p.m. on this Thursday, July 6th. It's always the Thursday before it's heard in a committee or at the full, top level. So since it's on the agenda for the 12th, the 6th is the Thursday before. And that's all.
I have something.
Okay.
The certificate for Dan Dixon, they'll have it at the meeting. They cannot get it for 3 weeks for
David. Well, we'll make sure that we get David one.
Yeah, so I ordered one for David, but it will be 3 weeks before.
He used to do
Oh,
neighborhood council.
that David, okay.
Yeah. So,
Yes, that one, okay.
that also for food for the meeting, because we don't have somebody in place officially again for the credit card for the treasurer. Or second credit card holder, we have to wait until after the meeting, the 10th, for our cards to be activated. So I can send the vote count sheets back in, for appointing, reappointing, or appointing, or whatever happens. Because of that, John's going to just deliver pizza for us in the sliced up single boxes again, and just bill me later after things are settled.
Drinks and stuff, will you be able to?
Well, it's going to be kind of whatever's left over because I can't go buy anything. We have no money right yet.
Well, what I was going to suggest is, if you want, I'll put the bill, I'll put the money, and then look to be reimbursed if we can do. I mean, we can do it.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you want to go pick it up?
I'll do that. I mean,
Okay. If you want to do that, and then we'll just reimburse you.
Yeah. So if you want to get like a little list or something at your
Okay.
convenience, then
Okay, we can do that.
let me know what it is you want me to pick up. I have no idea where you buy those.
At Ralph's, I go in, they have them in the thing, just the little tiny cans and just...
No. The water in those.
Oh, I got the water.
You still have the water, enough water?
We just don't have a bunch of soda.
Okay, well, let me know what sodas you want. I'll do it. Okay, so.
And I think that's it, yeah.
What's that? That's the date agenda?
No, that's the draft for the board meeting,
Oh, okay.
since you didn't have it printed out.
Approved. Oh, you got that on there, the amended fiscal year, because we have to add sheriff, reconfigure, because we're
Oh.
going sheriff for 3
I know,
months.
but that's not public comment, so.
I know.
I actually do have something else.
Public comment?
Yeah, I planned on, I believe I announced it, but I'm going to send out an email reminder. We're going to take headshots next week. So you're going to need to get this all handled, unless...
It's fine.
Okay, so you're going for
Yolanda.
Crosby,
Yeah.
Stills, Nash, Young, and Regalado?
We're doing new ones, right?
I was thinking,
Because I
do we
hate my
have to do
picture.
that?
Yes, we do.
I hate my picture, so I...
Well, I mean, you don't, I'm not going to chase you down.
I'm perfectly happy
No
with
side
mine.
No, I was, I will
Actually-
use as close to the existing background and all that stuff, which I'm assuming, I think the curtain is still the same one, and same spot and everything. So if people aren't there or don't want it or whatever, I can use the old ones. But for the new board members, for myself, for anybody else who's kind of updated their whole situation, you know.
And thank you for bringing it to everyone's attention about that situation.
You know how it is.
Oh, jeez.
Next.
Ray likes to party.
So, okay, that finishes agenda item number 2, no public comment, no one here.
Number 3.
Number 3, motions, we have 3 motions.
Okay, so what I did was, you guys have in front of you, the printer is this one, right here that Christina, this is the one that Central has gotten also. They got it on Amazon, and so you see the printout for it. It's with tax, it's like $354.78 for it, to buy it. It's the Epson EcoTank ET4800. Christina says it's fabulous and does mass color printing, does mass,
Duplex? Duplex? Prints two-sided?
Christina?
It prints two-sided, otherwise known
Yeah,
as
two-sided,
duplex?
yeah, it does two-sided, it does everything. It, does the black and white and the color, and she can fill like each cartridge separately with the liquid, which is great, the EcoTank thing, so that's perfect. So that's the printer that all 3 neighborhood councils, each of us have. So Coastal has that one, Central's gonna have that one, and then she suggests we get the same, because ours is dead.
Yeah, she was telling me about that too, and she really likes the way that works.
So it's $354.78, so I don't know, should we change the amount or just keep it at $450 in case the price changes when I go to order it?
Well, first,
You can
do we have a motion?
Right, so the motion is for $450.
450.
So
moved.
For a new printer, in case,
So Melanie is making the motion?
right.
I'll second.
I'm suggesting by the time you get around to ordering it, we might want to have it at $450 in case the price changes on Amazon.
Not to exceed 450.
Not to exceed.
Yeah.
We just don't
Well,
put
it's-
exceed because always it's $450. You can't spend more than
But-
that anyway.
By default, it's
By
not to
default.
exceed whatever is allocated.
Vic and I had this conversation. By default, you can't exceed it anyway.
Yeah.
You aren't allowed
Well,
to
that's why you named the
With-
number, yeah.
pre-approval.
Okay. So
So,
we got a second discussion?
second, Chris,
Chris already seconded.
All right, so
Okay.
any discussion?
any discussion, you guys?
Well, so the other 2 neighborhood councils, they have the identical printer,
Yes.
and they're not using ours, we're not using theirs. or
No,
whatever.
yeah,
No,
she
well, that's the
has
problem.
like their names on each
We've
on
been
each one.
using theirs, and that's not okay.
Okay.
But
because
she
ours
does.
is
But
dead.
she has like refilled. I mean, she is keeping track of that. I think
Yeah.
from what she told me.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, ideally, no, you're not supposed to do that. But she is keeping track, so we're not really stealing from them. We're just borrowing.
Yeah. So,
Okay. No other discussion? Take the vote?
Oh, okay. Aye. Everybody
that's
voted
okay.
aye.
So, the next is a projector, who is very old, is not compatible with anything with the HDMI or anything.
Yeah.
So, and
So we have 2 possibilities.
the 2 of these are similar to the ones that Central has. And they're from Best Buy. And this one,
Like,
the
again,
300-inch home entertainment work
we need a motion.
one, there's 2 of them there. So,
I move that we buy a new projector.
with an allocate the 520 for the new projector.
That.
Yeah.
All second.
Discussion?
Any discussion?
Well, we gotta,
Well-
you give us two choices.
What is the
Right.
Do we need
These
to-
are two choices depending on which one's available. Both of these
Oh.
would work.
Okay.
So if I go to Best Buy to buy these, depending on what they have in stock. I saw this one there when I went to buy my new refrigerator on Sunday. And it was that price. But I did not see this other one.
But they're pretty much functional.
They're pretty functional, pretty much the same.
We don't have any specs here.
Yeah, John and I went through these too. Both of us looked at them together and stuff and
3280.
to try and get the right ones.
Built-in speaker at 300.
So is one better than the other?
Yeah, the EX3280 is.
It is built-in speaker, bright enough to work in well-lit rooms, contrast ratio 15,001, can display images from 30 to 350 inches, can accept 4K content, it's for Zoom video conferencing. Okay, it's some.
Yeah, that one's a pretty good one.
Seems pretty standard, and that one is the.
Yeah, I was thinking what's cleared out, you can't tell the difference.
So if you guys want to decide on one of them, I'll just put through to the board this one, if this is the one we decided.
Let's see, just a quick description of the other one. Portable projector, so it's got a slightly smaller maximum image size. It's got a lower resolution, I think, same brightness, built-in HDMI port and speaker. I think the one that's 20
The
bucks.
first one,
Yeah,
right?
I think it's
Yeah.
a little better. I think it's
So,
a little bigger, and I think,
so let's say this one is the one I'll put on the proposal. then,
The 449.99?
The 449.99, the EX3280. Just makes it easier.
Okay, so
So the allocation of 520, we've identified one that we will go for, and so all in favor, I guess?
unanimous again.
Now this is where it gets stickly.
Yeah. I have some questions about this, but
So, the laptop. So configuration wise, we need at least 16 gigabyte memory
yeah, I mean, none of this.
to run the,
well,
to do like any hybrid.
I mean,
type
like your
function.
phone's got at least.
I talked to the tech guys at Geek Squad, and they said we'll need at least 16 gigabytes of memory.
Yeah, so.
Also, we need at least a terabyte of SSD in order to have backup and memory on the computer.
Yeah.
And
So then you
SSD
start-
is-
SSD is a solid state memory as opposed to like a mechanical hard drive with moving parts. So
you know what?
SSD.
What most people think of as a hard drive have disks platters that turn. SSD is like a flash drive that has no moving parts.
So
this
it's faster,
one,
more durable.
This Azus ZenBook that I put in there
Yeah.
is more memory, but it's similar to the one that we had.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
This one also is similar to the one. Ours is somewhere within these two range of these that is missing.
Yeah, I think the Intel versus the AMD processor is kind of a wash. I think going for more RAM is better because essentially you can't ever really have enough. And
Right.
if we're going to have, for instance, potentially a Zoom meeting running with input from other sources or whatever, you just want more headroom. But the smaller screen is actually even more convenient since it's got a better quality display, the OLED, but most of what we'll be doing won't be one person in front of that screen, so we're pointing it out to the projector.
So then we have the OLED, which is
First.
very good on the Acer, which is a very good on the OLED. It's a 14
Since we need a motion, I move that we allocate.
Oh, well, I'm wondering if I'm hearing where Chris is heading, we're gonna have to amend the motion.
I understand, but we have to have a motion
Okay.
to amend before we
Okay.
can amend a motion.
Um,
Therefore, I move that we allocate for the $1,500 for a new laptop.
okay. I second.
All right.
Discussion.
Okay, now
So,
we're
now
into
we'll
discussion.
discuss.
Because
So the OLED's a good screen. OLED is a very good screen for the Acer computer. This one, though, we're at the 16 gigabytes and the 1 terabyte on the memory. The HP Envies, these are both 16 gigabytes and a terabyte. They have the Intel i7 core processor, but so does this one.
Yeah, I mean, and again, for our purposes, we're not going to be editing video or,
Right.
games. So, like the raw processing power is
So-
probably less important than the memory.
If I'm hearing what you're saying, you're thinking the 32 gigs are better than the 16.
Yeah.
So that's
Yes.
$13.99. Once you add tax onto
it's
that,
like 1532, 1533, so we need to,
we need to make it like 1,600
just to make it,
instead.
to round it off, I would say 16.
And we should also probably allocate like some kind of case, like, we want a bag to put it in, we want,
Does it
So-
come, what does it come?
I'm sure it comes with some kind of
That's-
sleeve, but probably
It
not.
comes with a
yeah.
sleeve, but not a case.
Yeah, we need like a
And a
pad.
case is how much? $200?
It doesn't have to be that much, but it's worth having. I mean, like, for instance, something recognizable, we're probably going to want to put, like, I don't know,
We need to have Northwest put on it.
or something like that. Like, we need to
Like,
physically protect it, but also like make it like pretty obvious what it is. Let me just look real quick for a laptop. Because again, it doesn't have to be anything special. We probably won't be taking it anywhere or whatever, but this is not a time to cheap out. No, they're not super expensive. I'm looking at like generic, that are somewhere between 15, 35. I mean, if we said $50, we could find something on. Like a Pelican Adventurer laptop bag is $49.99. In fact, that's what I would recommend. But it's fit up to a 16-inch laptop with elastic carrying handle. It's pretty.
so can we amend this to laptop with bag?
Then, Chris, would you like to make an amendment?
Amendment to laptop with bag?
Yeah, I'd like
and
to.
change the amount?
I'd like to amend the motion to include the procurement of a laptop bag or case with a value not to exceed $100.
I'll second.
So for a total of, what were we saying, $1,700?
Well, so far we're at 1,500 for the base motion,
Plus tax.
for the base motion.
Okay.
Plus the 100, so that's 1,600.
So 117.
Right now, the amendment brings it up to 1,600.
With 10% tax.
Well, we haven't, that's part of the discussion.
Right.
So right now, we're at 1,500 plus 100.
So we need 17 for the bag.
So if we're gonna amend it further with tax, then we can do that. But right now, we're at 1,500 plus 100.
So amend it for 17, Chris, to cover the laptop and the...
Actually, we need
If we're-
at least $1,760. If I'm assuming 10% sales tax.
Yeah,
Oh.
1760.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you doing that all in one amendment?
So to amend the procurement to include a laptop,
Laptop
to
case?
include a laptop and case and sales tax for an amount not to exceed, let's just call it 1,800 since it's next one.
That's
Or
what
no,
I was-
1,800.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
1860?
No, 1,800.
1800,
Yeah.
okay.
Because, again, the case will more than likely be
Right.
less than $100, but you just don't want to.
Okay.
Don't want to have to go back and do this again.
I know, don't want to do this again, so 1,800 for the laptop.
And you think 13 inches
Well,
sufficient? Because I can't stand a small
Well,
one like that.
Generally, I personally have 3 very large monitors, but this one, I think most of what we'll be doing is going to be projected, and we'll have an opportunity, like, honestly, if I need to, I can donate an external monitor if we wanted to run another thing. I think the extra memory is way more valuable than that 1-inch diagonal measurement on the screen, which is not going to be like
Yeah.
it'll be Christina or somebody here, and then it'll be like 9 feet wide up there. So I think most of the time we'll have other accessories to give it more real estate if we need to. In fact, I may be, because I actually need just to get rid of it, I may just bring a monitor in, and then when we get this, I'll just make it part of, like the water cooler over there, just kind of leave it there until somebody decides to steal it. But yeah, well, I think it'll be easier and cheaper to add an additional monitor, whatever we need to, and the memory will be.
What I'm gonna do is get rid of these other ones, I won't even submit them with the packet, and this will be the one. There.
Okay,
That way we
so,
eliminate everything down.
so on the amendment to add the case and increase the allocation to 1,800 from 1,500, are we ready to vote? Okay, Vic, yes. Melanie,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah, abstain? Yeah, I mean, yes.
What?
I just wanted to see what it felt like to not do my job and show up.
Oh,
I mean,
Ouch.
we didn't know that you did not,
okay,
did we?
so now on the, since that was the amendment, on the amended motion, which is pretty much the same. Vic, aye, Melanie,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
okay. Right, that's official.
We need to include presidential style handcuffs to secure the football to the courier.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know what? We don't have an official cell. I was going to say an Apple AirTag would be useful, but we'd have to attach it to someone's phone. Well,
Okay,
I mean,
okay, item number 4, Ray, right? We're at 4?
Are we through with the conversation?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
We voted, so discussion's over.
So we are, well, there was some thoughts floating around about a tag or something like that. Okay, we're through with 3, we're going on to 4, and there is a bunch under 4. Let's see, we got A is board seating. Are we gonna have someone swear them in?
I talked to, emailed, and you were CC'd on it, Octaviano, so it sounds like he's going to be there to do it.
Good, okay.
He said, well, if you guys want to, you can do it. And I said, well, it's traditionally been done by you, so we'll let you do it.
Okay, good. All right, so this will be with Octaviano.
Yeah, that's why I put done in parentheses
and
there.
then Diana's gonna do the start of.
Well, I haven't heard that for sure, is she?
Oh, is she back though? She's in
Greece? Well.
the Middle East or Bulgaria or something like that right now, I thought.
Whoever does it, you as the outgoing president, whether you become incoming is irrelevant, but you as the outgoing, get according to our bylaws, I even printed out a copy of what I sent you.
He doesn't until he's reseated.
Nah, it's separate.
Yeah, that's-
The election of officers shall be conducted by a non-board member selected by the outgoing president. Therefore, you need to pick somebody who's not a board
Well,
member.
maybe if Dan's
To
there,
do it.
Dan would be willing to do it because he's there for his certificate and be willing to stay for that portion.
Is he, now, when does the term expire? Will he still be a board member?
June 30th, well.
Last meeting.
Yeah, so.
Oh, it just says non-board member, doesn't say,
Yeah.
oh.
Right, it says
But he's
non-board
a
member,
non-board
so,
member.
so as of this meeting, he is a non-board member, so he could do
So
it.
then Dan
I mean,
knows
if he'd agree, but we need to make sure there's
if
somebody.
Diana's not here.
Well, I'm sure there'll be somebody in the room who could be like a
Or-
cop or somebody.
Yeah, but you can't, but we shouldn't just be saying, oh, hey, you, why don't you do that? I mean, they need to
It'd be
know.
fun, it's spontaneous.
Well, with certain people, okay,
We
but
have them do it.
So I'd like to suggest that we give the honor to Dan,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Plan B would be, Plan B would be Octaviano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as we give them both a heads up.
That's the thing that I want to make sure happens. So who would like to get in touch with?
You are the outgoing president, so your responsibility.
I can do it. That's-
No, I mean, according to the bylaws, you're the one who selects it, so you should be the one
You don't want
to
break
contact
the
them.
bylaws. Otherwise, the
There's really not an option on this one.
bylaw control.
And so the president will be the first one that's elected.
yeah,
Correct.
then you take over the meeting.
Yes, and that's,
For the
You're
rest of it.
assuming, you're assuming.
I'm assuming.
and then, first, yeah, since we're on that.
Yeah.
Also, the bylaws state the highest ranking officer remaining on the board and not running for president. And this gets a little tricky, so listen close. I had to read it a few times to make sure I was clear. The highest ranking officer remaining on the board and not running for president shall abstain from voting for the office of president unless there is a tie, in which case they're the tiebreaker.
So that's whoever's been on the board longest,
No,
you were on,
no.
isn't it?
The highest ranking officer remaining on the board, not running for president.
So that would
Right.
Probably be
So
me.
you aren't running for president.
So if he's not running, then,
I don't get to vote for Rick,
right.
but I can, like,
However,
my banners.
just wait.
However, what?
You can still say something ahead of time when
Yeah.
the vote comes, you just can't vote.
Okay.
Okay, then,
But you will be the tiebreaker
Okay.
in that case.
then, once the new president is elected, that person shall abstain in electing the remaining officers unless there's a tie.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
But you will keep us honest. In other words, that's going to be something.
well,
You'll be the-
technically it is Dan or, I mean, I will have this here so I can do it if necessary, but typically
Yeah.
whoever's running it should be doing that, not me.
Right, but.
Because
you
you'll be
can-
technically.
But you're pretty good about steering things the right way, so
Well, I
you.
will say something if I need to, but I
Yeah.
shouldn't
Yeah.
be the one to be doing that because it should, what we need to do is make sure whoever does it knows that.
Okay,
And the cool thing about it with Vic, definitely he does it all the time with tact and diplomacy.
oh, he does, he's good.
Where are you going?
Which Vic are you referring to?
Which bit?
It's as far as I'm concerned, it's an amount of tact and diplomacy appropriate to the tone of the room.
Yeah, that's,
Until the other stuff is
When the-
needed.
what is, there's a, what's the movie from? Remember the movie Roadhouse? With
yeah.
Patrick Swayze?
Yeah.
Always be nice. Da-da-da. Ask them to leave, but be nice. You know, a few other examples, but be nice until it's time to not be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So, let me see.
Okay, now, so so Ray is going to talk to Dan and Octaviano,
I'll talk to Dan and tell you.
and and don't expect Octaviano to know what our bylaws say because we don't know what others say. So you might want to.
Honestly, he stays on top of bylaws.
He's
pretty
pretty
good
good.
about that.
Okay, well, you might want to forward
But
him
I will.
that email I sent you so he knows the operative parts about the selections, and that would probably help.
Let's see. And you have the CIS, council file.
Okay, so
Here for the bank.
Okay. Okay, we got that. Board seating, okay, officer selection.
Minutes.
and then the MER and the budget, two usuals.
We won't have the MER until the meeting, hopefully.
Oh, I know. I figured I was going to ask you about having it on the 5th, but I didn't expect it. So that's why it's not on the agenda as being out of committee.
Yeah, Melvin and I had a long conversation about that too, because the whole month of June, our receipts weren't.
Oh yeah,
Reviewed
that's
again.
why the thing with
still.
3 months worth of minute taker payment?
No, that-
We
no,
couldn't
that was
pay
different.
Cheryl because because of the whole workout thing.
Oh,
She wasn't allowed to work for us.
Just
okay.
so that you're brought up to date.
separate issue then.
I've had very detailed and ongoing conversation with Dunn that because of the situation with the other contract organizations, agencies that we do are, that we draw from for minutes, it has been too difficult previously, and we are not going to have to jump through those hoops any longer because it's not fair to anybody having to do that. And then we go from month to month trying to figure out who's going to be doing our minutes
Yeah.
and things like that.
It's one of the
So
most simplest things that we have to be responsible
Yeah.
for, like just writing the thing down, like.
And why shouldn't we be able to choose who does our minutes?
Well, I mean, for that matter, like, it's not like a trip to the ISS, like, it's just somebody who records the notes. I mean, like, why is that, why should we shouldn't be discussing it even now, it's for it to be dragged out as an.
And they even get recordings or videos to do it from.
Yeah, it's too simple to taking up this much of our energy.
So, the item came up that, well, since we didn't have anyone technically allocated to do it and to pay for it, then their question to me was, then your note taker, in this case, we all know we were talking about Cheryl, has been doing it for free. And I said, absolutely not. She is going to get paid. She is not doing it for free. Because that would be wrong, on so many levels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyway, so this is where we're going to pay her directly with.
So the way that we figured it out was that the way that she'll do it is bill for 2 meetings worth of time for 3 months straight. To
Oh,
catch up the 3 months that she's owed. So she's not billing those 3 months prior back.
Okay.
So for 3 months, we'll pay for like 8 hours of work versus the regular amount. And we'll get billed for 2 months worth of time
sounds good.
for 3 months and pay her back. But we've got to add that into the allocation of the budget for the minute taker to make sure that it's pulled out of the unallocated funds and put back up there for that. So that's where we come into the reallocation on the agenda of the budget. We have to redo that baby and then submit it.
So just for your own information, she is not attached to any contract agency like Apple One and
No.
these others. Now, if there is going to be a problem for her attaching herself to any of those, then we will be paying her directly.
She
But-
got an agency though.
She
It
got
is
an
called
agency.
At Work,
No, she got an agency, but she would prefer Apple One.
right?
And we don't know where that's going.
Okay, because she told me that the last email I got from her is
Well-
that the agency, she signed up for them and good to go.
are they okay, do they have whatever arrangement they need to have with Dunn?
Yeah.
Yes, they are approved.
They're okay, so there are 4 now?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
she's-
with that,
She says she's got her assignment onboarding procedures at Work. And they'll open an assignment for Northwest Monday, July 10th.
all right. So anyway, it's been a real difficult thing to get this thing negotiated with Dunn, because originally, for me, it was negotiating not only with Dunn, but it was also with the city clerk. It has come back to the center of this whole negotiation has to be with Dunn so that they can give them their blessing. And we're way beyond that. So anyway, it has not been easy trying to navigate this thing with Dunn because of whatever issues occurred whenever they occurred.
Yeah.
But it's taken care of now. It's taken care of as far as I'm concerned. Now, I just want them to understand that it's taken care of, them being Tom. And, I'm still kind of playing with that with them, but they know the score, they know what it is that we're gonna be doing, so anyway.
It's crazy.
Well, and they knew about that ahead of time, and they apparently haven't balked at it, so,
Yeah.
the last few meetings that she's done, and they haven't said anything.
Because in their mind, in the
She's
minds
doing it
of
for
them,
free.
she was gonna be
They're doing it free?
So,
Okay.
but again, that's not happening. So that's the story behind that. And I know it's recorded, but I don't want to kind of go out there and have a public conversation about it. Someone's that interested, they can pull up the recording. But I just want to keep you on top of this stuff.
Right.
Let's see. So, take over minutes, budget and finance.
All the stuff from them.
You got
So-
that?
There will be one other thing that we have to do on budget and finance too that we'll put on there is approve the invoice for June for audio. That has to be added too.
Send me the word.
Because he didn't submit it early, so it has to be paid now for the audio guy, for the meeting that was after the close of the, getting a check issued.
But he understands our process.
He knows that he'll get paid by a check for that one, a separate motion, and then we'll get paid for the other month. He knows that he's waiting.
So
He's getting paid for
is
last
that
month.
going to be on the agenda for this meeting?
It's going to be on the agenda for this meeting, yes. It will be a budget and finance. It's just on the.
Oh, okay, so
other-
Okay, so
So
no
I
words,
will give
no
it
words,
to you.
yeah, give me the
It's
words when I,
something that's come up.
okay.
So let's minimize any,
Yeah.
conversation in and around that. Not that we're trying to hide it, it's just that.
Well, it has to go through budget and finance anyway.
Right, it has to go
I
through-
just don't want to spend a lot of time doing that, going through this whole.
Right, exactly.
Rigmarole.
Just, we
So-
haven't paid for June.
Yeah.
And checks cut off before the meeting.
Right, so, okay.
Okay, so the printer 450 was we
Yeah,
kept that amount, we kept the 520,
and 1,800.
and then we amended and increased to 1,800 for laptop and case.
Including a bag.
When will we take possession of these?
As soon as possible.
Well, first we have to approve it.
We have
No,
to
we have to approve it,
yeah.
once it's approved, I don't see a problem with that. When will
So
we take
understand,
possession?
Chris, that in unallocated funds, then what'll happen with that, because that's 970. So that's $2,700, say about. That's gonna come out of unallocated.
28.
Okay, so that means that the outreach money, wherever in the heck this stuff is, where did it go? Oh, it's in the other thing, okay. It's over here. There's 6198 right now in unallocated, so what, so that means 2,700 comes out of that, so that's gonna leave like a little over 3,000 in unallocated. But on the flip note of that, it's going to, we're getting like almost $8,600 back from rollover. So it's temporary until like September
Oh,
when we get the rollover money. You'll just kind of feed this money from unallocated into buying the equipment that we need. And then we'll feed the 8,590, I think it is, back into unallocated again. So we'll be sitting fine.
okay. We went past consent calendar already?
Well,
Or,
we're still on the executive committee agenda, item 4. And we kind of, because we went through all the items that are on the list, but there are a few others like the fiscal year budget
yeah, I just needed to
that'll
have,
get added.
I guess it's for the consent calendar.
And,
To
And
have-
the audio invoice,
well, yeah, Joel,
I'll have that for you.
I do want to bring up an issue with with the Thomas Bridge too, that I'd like to.
Well, hang on, let's,
And then consent calendar, coal car to public safety.
Are we going to say anything about your
Wait,
appointment
what?
as budget advocate?
Yes, and then also during the budget advocate report, I will have a mini report of what happened at the budget advocate meeting, as well as the special meeting that they had to appoint officers, because I am now an officer of budget advocates
Oh,
also.
Jesus. Oh,
okay, what,
yeah. Isn't your shoulders getting more and more weighted?
They wrangled me into it because they felt that they needed somebody with experience in there, because there was a lot of new people.
What officer position?
I'm the administrative secretary.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff just at home, online, computer stuff, so
Okay.
it really, it's making sure that everything, that the website, Christina's updating it, making sure the roster is updated, making sure that the minute taker is taking the minutes and doing them, which is shameful.
okay, well,
So-
going back, somebody mentioned
So-
something about consent calendar?
Yeah, something I need to get on the consent calendar, and there's something for Ethan Outreach we need to get in there.
Cole, you need added, right? Or Layla.
I have it, oh yeah, so it's Leila Aguilera to Youth and Outreach, and also John Barbera as co-chair.
Yeah.
Out of Youth and Outreach?
Yes. And we actually approved a request for allocation for a November movie event. And so I don't know if that needs to go.
That needs to go to budget and finance, but you might wait until
Yeah,
June,
it doesn't need to
till
happen.
August meeting
Right.
to do it, to do the proper budget. Angela knows now
Okay.
how to do all of that.
Yeah. So we just got the ball rolling, but
I kind of gave
Okay.
her like the tutorial on how to do it, but also I really, Ray, on that note too, think that, assuming that I'm separate, or I'm treasurer still, that to do, like we did at retreat before, just a mini, like how to do an event, how to put an event together, and a budget, and how to do it, because there's a lot of new people. And Angela was like, oh, how do you do that? And I'll make the books
Okay.
and everything for everybody, because the money's allocated on the budget for that.
Okay, good.
So, again, going back to the consent calendar to make sure I have this right, the two additional items are adding Layla to Youth and Outreach and making John Barbera the co-chair of Youth and Outreach.
Yep.
Anything else for consent calendar?
And then Cole Carr to public safety.
Just on the committee?
And on the consent calendar, I'd like to maybe,
Just adding him to the committee, right?
public.
What?
Adding him to the committee,
Yes,
correct?
to the committee,
Okay.
yes. I'm sorry.
well, this is where I need your all, I guess,
And you're talking about another consent calendar item?
yeah.
Okay.
The fact that we need a retreat.
And money's allocated on the budget for
Right,
retreat.
so we need a retreat because we're going to have to rethink how assignments are going as far as for committees and attendance and committees, and also discussing the issue of more participation by some of our sleepy members
Yeah.
and things like that. I mean, there's a core of people.
That don't do anything.
Well, no, there's a core of people who do way too much.
Right.
And we want to make sure that we start getting people to start taking.
I agree. But Chris, like I told John, and this is something I told John, and this is my philosophy, was that, no, but what we discussed with what I told John about people not doing too much, and I told him he's doing too much and taking too much on. And, when he says, I feel like, with a lot of times I can't do it anymore, some of this stuff. And I said, you need to learn to not rely on just yourself or a couple people on outreach. You say, this is the event, consider you guys the event planners.
Yeah.
You guys are the event planners, like somebody that plans the event. Then you go to the board and say, okay, the event is this day. You're working what, 1 to 2? Okay, you're working 2 to 3. You're working 4 to 6.
Yeah, and then we actually intended to have that for our June events at the last meeting, but our section of the agenda was cut off, so we didn't have a chance to solicit people's participation. So that's an issue I wanted to bring up, is that if we're going to have, I mean, and that's one of those things that we'll have to figure out in terms of time management, but like if certain committees are routinely left off, then work like that is going to be left off as well, so we're not going to be able to close that circle.
So with that said, retreat planning for, and I'll throw it out there, maybe the end of July.
Yeah, but what is the item to go on what is to be approved?
It's all going to be on a consent calendar, and I would like to get it.
No, but what is to be approved? I mean, you've said,
No.
you basically said planning for the end of July, but that's not something to approve.
Well, I'm throwing out the end of July as a possibility.
I know.
I want us to come on the consent calendar that.
We have to have something to approve on the consent calendar. What is it that you want to approve?
So are we
They
going
were approving a retreat at the end of July, whatever date that we come up with. If there's a date that people would like to throw out there right now, then we
The
can do
problem
that.
is that, Craig's going to say no on Saturday because it's a Sabbath.
Yeah.
Well,
So we're going to have to do a Sunday.
So, but what if a Christian said, well, no.
Yeah, I was going to say that's.
I don't, do we
That's
have
just
to
as
make
bad.
accommodations for religious, I mean, this is a
Because-
government organization. I thought we're supposed to be.
I think the appropriate thing was to identify that it's there, and people are unable to make any other day, and Saturday's the best day,
They'll be
then Saturday it will
Yeah.
be the day, and unfortunately, not everyone's going to be able to make it for whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say, in some cases.
You also need to, say some kind of timeline on how long and from when to when.
Well, that'll be.
That's part of the planning that comes
See,
later.
That'll be
I'm
part
not
of the plan.
available.
Okay.
Like Sunday the 30th, I'm not available at all. I'll
So,
be out of town that day.
Well, that's,
I hear the 30th, but so the
23rd is a Sunday.
well,
I could do 23rd, 29th, or 30th.
23rd,
okay,
29th, I can do.
right now, we're not looking at, this isn't part of the
Well,
planning. This
We probably need
is,
to have dates on there.
It would be helpful to have some suggestions.
So 23rd or the 29th.
Could it be the
Say, or
beginning of
22nd,
August? Could it be August
Or the
5th?
beginning of August.
it can be the beginning of August, but it should be right up front in August.
Yeah.
And maybe, as I think about it, maybe August is the more appropriate time.
Although August 6th.
yeah, we're kind of late in the month.
August 6th would work for me.
Well, no, I've worked that all
Oh,
day.
you do?
Yeah.
I mean,
What
that
about
would,
the 13th?
13th would be
That'd
fine.
give more time for me to do the folders too.
Yeah, so that's a little more than a month away.
And looking at your calendar, what day is August?
August 13th,
Is
either 12th or 13th.
12th is a Saturday, 13th is a Sunday.
And let's use those two. as the
Use
dates.
those two
Well,
dates,
actually-
August 12th or 13th.
Oh, that's early. Yeah, okay. I have work early Saturday morning, the 12th, but I could do something later in the day.
August 12th or 13th. Because we need to get this going before we get too far along. in
and the next board meeting is the 14th.
Yeah, that would work.
I should say the August board meeting is the 14th, not the next one, but. So if we did it the weekend before,
That'll be a full week.
Yeah. So August 12th or 13th. And Craig's gonna be like, I can't come.
Well, I mean, that's,
The choice will be made by the.
So we'll vote.
Yeah.
We'll take the vote for the most votes for the day.
and let's see,
So the other question is, do you guys for retreat want to do pickup sticks like you've done in the past, or do you
Well-
want to do something else?
Because of time, I think we we can talk about that
Okay.
and, later as we do the more planning.
Yeah, good, now we have
Yeah.
a sense of how long we have to do that.
The other thing that I want to get on the calendar is that
Is this consent or?
this is consent, because I'm going to need your help on this, all of your help on this. We had and this is Vincent Thomas Bridge stuff. We had kind of I'm trying to see how I can frame this. I've been doing a lot of lobbying to get a lot of stuff done on this Vincent Thomas Bridge thing, and most of it is getting a 90-day public comment period when the EIR comes out in December, and other things that may be coming out, that they make sure that they understand that 90 days is what we need. The other thing is doing a community advisory committee. Now, those words kind of, they said yes to them. But now they're backtracking on the 90-day thing.
Really?
Yeah. So what I want to do, because we had our first community advisory committee with Caltrans, what I want to do is I kind of want to restate what I sent them originally about, this is our neighborhood council is saying that this is what we need to have. 90 days, community advisory committee, and they've done some tweaking and things like that, and I want to kind of include that in this letter coming from the neighborhood council. This just happened, so it's nothing that I'm putting together, but we really need to put it out there because the last day for comment is July 10th.
So what is?
So what I want to do is I want to put together a letter. And this is the tough part, is have you guys take a look at it and approve it so we can put it on the consent calendar for it to go out. Because they've kind of sat back on, they're changing their tune. Now it makes it a bit more expedient. Now there have been committees that have already put something for them, and that's great. This one is coming from all of us. I mean,
So when's the last day to comment?
But how,
The 10th, so would the letter even be?
Yeah, it would still get to them.
we can,
Okay.
yeah, it could be attached to an email or, but I don't know if consent calendar is the right place to put
Well,
it.
it may not. I mean, maybe it's
I think we're gonna
a
have,
separate agenda item.
Yeah.
But we really need to be able to do this, and what I'm needing is your consent to let me put the letter together, set it out to you guys so you can approve it.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's fine.
And
yeah, but we can't approve it when we're not in a meeting.
I know it, but we got a kind of a special circumstance, and we don't have a lot of time to do this.
I understand, but that's still, something like that would have to be done in a public meeting. I mean, you
Well,
can-
the public meeting thing would be,
For the approval, you
it's
have to write it.
coming from
What-
the executive
what he's
committee
asking.
for us to approve.
right, but if we're not looking at that letter at a public executive committee meeting, that's not the right way to do it.
No, you don't have to have, when you compose the letter, regardless of who's involved, that doesn't have to be
I
a
think
public
he's just
process.
asking for approval to put it on the agenda under the executive thing, but not that it's out of committee, that it's just that
All right.
what we're doing, we'll need a motion and a second for the
Okay,
letter.
so, yeah, in that case, it can't go under consent.
No, I'm not saying, the consent coming from you guys to work with me on this
Yeah,
because of what they're doing.
collaboration.
Okay, then what do you want to call it? I guess it would come after, after budget and finance. What do you want to call it?
Executive committee?
Approve letter to who?
Caltrans?
Caltrans.
Okay, well, I didn't know if it was Caltrans or somebody else as well.
Well, it's Caltrans.
About what?
Just neighborhood council
Retention of 90-day.
90 day.
public comment. There might be a
Well,
couple other little
I was
items.
going to say, should we just say regarding Vincent Thomas Bridge project?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Their public safety on motions will have 2 CISs.
Well,
And I'll send you those numbers.
it only goes on when I
Yeah.
but, okay, so we'll put
And a letter.
the approved letter to Caltrans regarding the VTB project.
Redecking project.
Well, I'll spell it out like we have in the past.
Okay.
And then the Melanie, the third item for amended fiscal year budget, is that fine the way it's worded?
It's amended fiscal year.
Item, look,
It's,
item number 3,
let's see,
under top of the second page, is that good as worded?
approve amended fiscal, yeah.
Okay? Then what about that council file municipal bank thing?
Yep.
Okay, what exactly is that? Because I went out and looked at the
What
council
it
file,
is,
and it basically
is
says
the
establish a
council-
bank.
They have had the economic workforce development look at putting together what's called a public bank. I did a lot of research on it, and it's really interesting what they're doing. It's already been allocated for them to come up with $450,000 and start the process of getting all the fiduciary, like it has to be somebody assigned to that, people, not politicians that are in charge of the financial officers and all that, and setting up the whole regime of it. But what it does is it will allow, like for housing, to speed up housing where you don't have the high interest rates of loans that you have in the regular banks. And you can, it just makes it easier for the city to have money and have their own bank.
Yeah.
To make things like with developing structures and housing to make it happen quicker. I think it's a great idea as long as, there's appropriate people running the store.
How
Okay, but
urgent is this? Because this is
Very urgent because it's already after a lot of neighborhood councils
Okay,
already commented.
then this is not approving the council file. It's approving support of the council file, it sounds like.
Well, yes, it's supported.
Is this meant to be something coming from our neighborhood council supporting?
Yeah,
this
the
year?
council file system. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand, but that's not approving the council file. That's approving support of.
Support of the council file, yes.
That's not the same thing.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at, it's a website called publicbankla.com.
So approved letter of support of CF such and such.
Yeah, because we're late to the party on this actually.
So is that considered out of committee then? Or is that considered out of committee, or is that gonna be a first and
It'll be out of
second?
committee because we'll vote to send it to the board and then
So where is that being voted?
in budget and finance.
Oh, okay.
This council file came out in 2019?
Yes, and they've been working
They've been
on
talking
it
about it
ever
for a
since
long
then.
time.
Yeah, I noticed that
It's been going
too.
on and on and on and on and on. And finally, it's hit where they're doing it. They're doing it. And so I want our neighborhood council to be on record with some of these other ones like they've got here that are supporting it already. And I really would like our neighborhood council's name to be added to that.
So that means, let's see. Oh, no, separate issue. What did you send me? Oh, okay.
I think it's an amazing idea. Amazing idea.
No, it is. I mean, they do it a lot in a whole lot of different entities where.
But I'll have the
They've
backups. I'm gonna load all of this up and after the meeting and have all the backup stuff for people to look at before the meeting, hopefully.
They've done this. We first.
I would
poverty
make sure you
banks
do that before the meeting.
Yeah.
And things like that. It's really. it's
No
really-
later than Friday.
But.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll do it.
And I want to bring that up, that we're gonna hold people really accountable to making sure that their documents are in a timely manner to be put on the agenda,
And-
or they're not going to.
Right, because everybody
No,
should have.
it's not, no, it's not just that. If they have a meeting, regardless of whether they have actions that were voted on at that meeting,
They need to do minutes.
they need to do minutes. And you know very well who I'm particularly referring to, because they refused to,
And quit.
put their
focusing
minutes in.
Constantly.
And I mentioned it
minutes for
multiple
something that
times.
she's not assigned to.
Well, there's something, there's another.
It's a big deal, I know. I've heard about it a lot.
Well, that's some of the stuff we're gonna have to talk about
I know
at the
it.
retreat too, to
I know.
reinforce, so that's why.
of course, the last meeting, they had motions, so they better do
So-
minutes for that.
Um,
Just like I'm gonna do some for this, because we had motions in this meeting.
so there's something, God, was there something else that I wanted to?
Well-
But I can,
Just to go back, so the ones that aren't on here yet are the audio guy bill, and what else?
Nothing.
I thought there was something else you said that was coming out of budget and finance.
Just there will be all of these, the MER, the budget, the adjusted budget,
Right.
and then the audio invoice.
Oh, that's all? Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so send me the words for the audio one. Go ahead and send it before the meeting so I can at
Okay.
least
it's just.
have it ready, and then I can always delete.
Allocate money to pay his June
Okay.
bills, and not have it come out of the fiscal year for 23-24.
Well, just,
Even though it kind of does, but it does. I know.
is there anything else? Anyone?
And then, like I said, 2 council files for public safety.
oh yeah, and those were the other ones. It
Those
wasn't
were
budget and
the other
finance.
ones.
Okay, so there's gonna be two public safety ones, so you'll have to send me the words for that too.
And a letter, which is kind of mute, but we still need to approve it and go on record for it, for the SLO thing.
Okay, send me the words and send them to me even before the meeting so I can have it all ready, because this goes out on Thursday morning, Thursday noon.
Anything else, guys?
For me.
Nothing, Melanie, nothing? Please say. Nothing.
Oh, you sent.
Oh, just-
LA. You've got a website already?
Yeah,
Just-
well, this has been, apparently it's been talking about for, I mean, even before 2019.
Okay, so just to confirm, no presentation, correct?
No presentation that
Okay.
I'm aware of at this particular.
That's good.
Yes, that is.
I would recommend against it, considering the
We're gonna have a full agenda.
the seating and
Yeah.
selection and everything.
All right, guys, that's it.
Should I
Okay.
include this
It is.
on the,
What is that?
on my minutes maybe for people to go and look?
Oh,
The
public bank.
website,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe, just to refer people to
For
go
the
look
public
over
bank?
it on the minutes to the publicbankla.com, because
Sure.
it's got a lot of information.
Oh, yeah.
on there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people always complain, certain
Right.
people, that we don't have enough information to include. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of information.
Okay.
in there.
And I am not going to accept someone saying, I didn't get a chance to read it, so
No.
let's postpone.
No.
We just don't-
No.
That's and that's why I said no later than Friday.
Yeah, no, I can put it up tonight.
Oh no,
Well, this is going to be for the agenda, attachment.
Right, but I mean, I can get it even up there tonight for people to go review, and so it's ready once she releases it, boom.
oh yeah, sooner the better.
Anything else?
Nope. So
All right,
do the official,
we are adjourned.
and it is 6:36 p.m.
exactly now. That's not bad.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.